Hello everybody, it is Tina at Tina Stitches. Today is Sunday, June 23rd. It is 5 in the evening and I have a dog outside my door telling me that it's supper time already, but it's not. He's supposed to wait another hour. He knows better. He's been a jerk since probably noon. So, and of course, because I'm talking, he's going to be even more jerky. So, what have I been up to? I have been on vacation for the last week, and I've been stitching. I've got myself a nice little setup outside, and the dogs can come outside with me. I will insert a picture here of what that looks like. And you can see there's a kennel with a table and 2 chairs in it and a hammock. The kennel with the chairs, I stitch inside the kennel and I keep the door to the kennel open. People have asked me, why am I inside the kennel? Is it to keep me on track? It is and it isn't. If I don't have the kennel up and I bring the dogs outside, I can tie them up, but then they have the potential to get tangled. Gidget is very good at sticking around as long as you have her chuck it and a tennis ball. But we are actually supposed to stop playing with the tennis ball with her because her teeth are flat. There's no fangs, and that is because of the tennis ball. The tennis ball fuzz is wearing down her teeth, and she's only 3. I think she's only 3 years old. Well, 2.5 anyways, so it's really not good for her, but it keeps her, she is so tennis ball crazy. The little one that I got in April, Khaleesi, is my tag along wherever I go, she goes. Almost concerned that she's going to have separation anxiety. She won't eat her food unless I'm sitting in the kitchen, unless I'm at work and then my husband is feeding her. But even then, sometimes she just, no. But she's his tag along when I'm not home, till I get home. But because she's new, and we do have a lead outside that we can tie her to, but lately, like, taking her outside hasn't been a big deal. She calls pretty much when she's called at, you know, yelled at, and you can hear him, can't you? He's being a jerk. He got his hair cut yesterday. Maybe I'll bring him in here. He won't be any happier in here than he is out there. Yeah, so the last week I've been stitching outside because of the nice weather. I've also been taking dogs for little walks out on the nature trails that we have here, and I almost think that maybe that's what he was getting antsy about, wanting to go for the walks that we've been going for. But today it's been raining, and I believe I mentioned in my last video that we have a forest fire situation nearby. So while the nice sunny weather was glorious for me sitting outside stitching, I know that our forests need the moisture, so I'm glad that it's raining. It also made me clean the house. So I am going to show you what I stitched on while I was on vacation. Well, the first week was not vacation, it was a work week. So there wasn't a whole lot of stitching there. But over the last 2 weeks, there's a lot. So let's get on with it. I think I have a list here somewhere. He's just going to insist on being a jerk. So, I'm not 100% sure what order, well, I am sure what order because I have my stitching journal with me. So we'll start with the one that I stitched on first. And that will be Royal Tudor Mandala, Chatelaine, and I don't have it on a frame, so you'll be able to see all of it. And the lighting in here is horrible because it's overcast, but we'll make do. So here's what it's supposed to look like. And where it was before. And here it is now. And what I worked on was this crown. And I don't know if it's showing up properly, but it's green. It's about 5 shades of green and about 7 shades of gold, and then it's backstitched in gold. And so yeah, I finished that little crown off in those 2 days that I worked on it, and a couple of black stitches along here so that I could do the back stitching that touched it there. So I almost have this corner complete. which is actually what I had put on my Year of Whips album, was to get the one corner completed, but I think I would feel better if this crown was completed to say for sure it's done. But there it is. And I am stitching it on 32 count opalescent Lugana in the called for silks and metallics and all those other things. So that I worked on for 2 days. That was part of the, I believe I stitched on that because the Buddies challenge was either ocean or green. I can't remember which one I used that for, but so the next one that I worked on was my Scornu for the Great Scornu Exchange, which I can't show you because it's in the mail on its way to its recipient, and once she gets that I will post pictures. So that took up a bit of my time, and that's why I didn't have very much progress in that first week. The next week, that's when it really kicked into gear. On Saturday, the 14th, 15th, whatever it was, I had watched the Sunshine Stitchers Flosstube, and I pulled out Halloween Fairy because I saw how far Gary was on his, and I worked on mine some more, and of course it's the one that I put the magazine at the very bottom. I have the magazine, had it since it came out. I'm a bit of a pattern hoarder, and so I'm stitching mine on 28 count or 32 count Vintage Country Mocha, and I will insert a picture here of where it was before. And here she is now. And this is 5 days worth of stitching. I had only the darkest part of this done, so I worked on this and added some of this. I don't know what's going on out there. And the next one that I worked on is The Dead Quadrielle by the Sweetheart Tree. I worked on this for 5 days for getting some stitches in on some green and some blue. And here's where it is now. I will insert a picture where it was. And here it is. So there's another square here, and all of the outlining in the green is done, and I did the D, A, and started the next D, and I also did these Algerian eyelets in just the 3 corners so far. This is one of those projects that I've been taking outside and stitching in the kennel. It's going pretty quickly. I have a lopsided pile happening over there. The other project which I took outside, I have a basket that I put I'm going to take this, my iPad, my phone, my drink, my pattern, whatever I want to take outside, I put it in this basket that I have, and I take that outside and sit down and do my thing. And the one day I took this design out, and wouldn't you know it, I didn't have my needle. It's called With My Needle. Bring a needle. So this is With My Needle by Just Nan, and I'm stitching it in the called for silks, and on, I believe it's the called for fabric. And this is what it looked like before. And here it is now. And you can see that I have not completely finished stitching these 2 designs here, because I realized this purple color in here is the wrong color. It's supposed to be a different shade of the same color, so I am debating what to do. Leave it in and stitch these ones in the same wrong color, or stitch these ones in the right color, because it'll be symmetrical anyways. And after one day out there with this, I realized this is not a good project to be working on outside, because silks. So that's why this one only got the 2 days of love that it did, because it made me come back in and get a needle. I'm working on it more than just the 1 day. But it's really pretty, and one of the things that I stopped at is that there's the next stitches I was going to do calls for Smyrna crosses, 2 threads over 2, like the same size as a cross stitch, but it's a Smyrna cross, and it says to use 2 strands. And it's a specialty floss, which was included with the pattern. But I'm thinking I'm just going to use 1 strand. Because it's already going to be a dense stitch. So there's With My Needle by Just Nan. And yeah, one more that I've been working on for the last 2 days is Mirabella's Dressmaker's Daughter. And I worked on this on the 1st, and I believe I showed in my last video where I was. I will put that here. And I had started the winter dress scene because the Australian Flosstubers are doing a Mirabella Seasonal Queen Sal, and so I decided that this one will fit, even though it's not a queen. It is a Mirabella, and it is seasonal, and I've had this in my stash and wanted to stitch it, so any excuse will do, right? And so I have these all in various stages started, and this one just had a little tiny bit, and I picked it up on the 21st, which was the first day of summer here in North America, and worked on it for 2 days. So you saw the before. Let me get my cardboard. And here it is now. So just this little bit here was done, and so I added more to it. And there's the teal color here of her dress, and a little bit of the design down the center. And that's where that one is. This is stitched on 32 count Extra Designs. I always forget the name. It's very lovely fabric, and I know the name tag is in the project bag. Sweet Lavender, 32 count Belfast Sweet Lavender by Extra Designs. And I think these are really, it really changes the way they are portrayed, I guess. It changes the color a bit. But I like the way that it's turning out. I can't wait to start putting some sparkle on these things. There's a lot of beads. I believe the list is yeah, check out that list of beads. $19 different beads, 5 different treasures, 5 different water lilies. So I don't think I've even started on the beads collecting. I have to look through what I have in my stash already, because I do have an extensive Mill Hill collection from doing other mirrors. So we'll see. And the last one that I have to show for whips is a big one. Beloved by Heaven and Earth, Adele Sessler. And because I've been off, almost every morning is like a Saturday morning for me, which means sit down and stitch for 2-3 hours while watching Flosstube. And so I have completed my June 1200 stitches for Full Coverage Fanatics, which for me is very early, because I am usually right on the edge of the month to get my stitches in. I was also on the Virtual Stitchers HAED Stitch Along live event, and this is what I worked on for that, and I will show you where I was last time you saw it here. I just had to put my phone on airplane mode because it had to notify me of something silly. So this is Beloved. I pulled it off of the stand so that you could see it in its entirety, and I have to back up a bit. There's the halfway mark. And there it is. So the part that I've been working on is hard to see like that, so let's stand up. I was over here. Working this section here, down 3 columns wide, working the stitches in across, and I almost have it completely finished. There's about 3 blocks or 4 blocks down here that need to be finished, and it's a little bit of a optical illusion because her hair looks like it continues this way, but this is the floss that I've parked in the next column. And this is stitched on 25 count even weave, 2/1 half cross. And I am almost, I think I have 2 columns left in this page, and then this is 1 page, and then that row of pages will be finished. And there's the halfway line right there. So I've gridded in a very light sewing thread. Try to find a good place to show the top. And all my page breaks, but on the first page, no, I believe it was this page here, so this is 1 row pages. I bet you that was really screwing up with the mic, wasn't it? Okay, so this is 1 row pages, that's another row, and that's another row, and I miscounted by 1 thread, so all of these are 1 thread off. So I just have to remember that when I hit the bottom of the page, when I got that extra thread, that yes, that is supposed to be like that. It is not a mistake. You don't have to frog it. So that is all my whips. I don't have any really specific plans. I am going to be checking out It Is Kismet, Kismet in July, because I really do want to get my well, there's a few things that I have that are Christmas related that I really should work on, such as, you know, the Nora COrbett reindeer, which I haven't touched for well, I did work on them in Mania, so I should pick one and work on it in June. And the other one that I really need to work on is Crystal Christmas, and that's because that was a stitch along with somebody, and she is down to the last angel, and I have 2 more, I believe, that need to be done for that. I'll insert a picture of what that looks like. And she is working on the companion piece, which is this one. So they're not, when we were comparing them side by side, it's almost an exact mirror image. Anyways, so they're very, you know, the size is the same and everything, and she's so far ahead of me. So I would like to work on that some more. Yeah. Beloved, of course, is going to get attention. But I don't think I have anything else set in stone. So I also worked on some project bags. So this is what my normal size project bag is. And I saw this design fabric on a Facebook page for a quilt shop, which is supposed to be open, but they weren't, so I ended up ordering it online. And all my stuff is balanced on these. And I really liked that fabric. And so I ordered it online, because I went back to that quilt shop twice. No, 3 times. And she was closed each time. So I ended up ordering it online. And then I went to the next town over to a quilt store, and she was carrying the same line of fabric, so I was able to get extra because what I ordered was the panel, which included these graphics, and I can't remember what it's called, a jewel pack, I think, with 10 by 10 squares, which shows you all the fabrics, but I didn't want, I needed bigger pieces than 10 by 10. So these are the bags I made. That's the fabric I had to get in the other town. And so this is the first one. And here's the second one. And I have 2 more panels like this. And like I said, I ordered that jewel pack to go with it. So I don't know if I'm going to make more bags or a lap quilt or something like that. But these are much bigger than I usually make, because I wanted the same style, like this, but I had to make that print work. But it will fit quite a lot of things, and I believe it'll fit an 11 by 11 Q-snap, which I believe I have right here. So let's just give this a test. Well, yeah, if this doesn't fit this, I have a problem. Yep, that was a zipper. That's right. Yep, 11 by 11, no problem. Another project bag inside the project bag. How about that? And the inside fabric is from the same fabric line, and what I had done accidentally when I was cutting these, I have the measurements written down for that bag. This bag, I had to wing it. So I was making both bags at the same time, and when I cut my lining fabric, I cut it the same size as this panel. This edge here is printed on, it's not sewn on. This is sewn on. And so it was supposed to be my inside here, but I screwed it up. So what I ended up doing was just using it to make a pocket in the back, because that's this piece here, this piece that would have been scrapped because it was supposed to be the front lining piece. So now this one has a pocket. Same with the other one, the matching one. So I'm happy with these. I can put, you know, a few projects in here for, you know, a day at the beach or something. Put a book, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you can hear him, but he's being a real jerk out there. Khaleesi, come here. Come here. And here's my little shadow. Here she is. And she needs a haircut. The life of a dog, eh? So anyways, I'm gonna take off. I don't know if they saw that little bit of fluff, but we are gonna go feed those dogs, and I'm gonna get some more stitching done. I will check in about 2 weeks, like usual, maybe a week if I feel up to it. I know people are going to StitchCon. I wish I was, but I'm not. Not this year anyways. So one of these days I'll make it to a retreat. I hope everybody who's at those retreats are having a great time. And I had better go and feed this dog before I strangle him. Anyways, happy stitching everybody. Bye.